Hello everybody and welcome to the Grand Prix review for the French Grand Prix, because literally everything has kicked off. What a French Grand Prix. This is the review show as well, so a little bit of a forum. We'll talk about everything that happened as well and get ready to go again, and what a battle it was as well. Let's start off then and take you to screen number 1, which is exactly how we left it not 5 minutes ago when we left you on air. This is the commentary cam screen that me and Megan stand in front of as well, and it gives you the results, the final results as well, because no one's going to get a penalty to change these results, because the only post-race investigation is that of Latifi and Magnussen, and they're both out of the race as well. So this is the official final results from this Grand Prix. Let's go through them then back to front, and throughout we'll be hearing interviews as well for what Sky have got hold of throughout this race as well. Let's start off then. Yuki Tsunoda, officially announced in 20th position, is out. He had a spin at the start of the race. He got spun round by Esteban Ocon. Ocon got a time penalty for that of 5 seconds, but Tsunoda did have damage to his floor panel, and he came in under the safety car and had to retire from the race. The biggest uh-oh of the season, though, has to go to Charles Leclerc. For the 3rd time, he now retires from the race with a problem of electronics as well. We understand the throttle stuck open and the rear brake locked, and he couldn't move the car at all. So that's what happened to Charles Leclerc. He was out of the race, going off quite in fashion on lap 18 as well, 36 laps down. Kevin Magnussen became the next retirement as well, 16 laps down on the board as well, so just on lap 40 odd as well, came in and said that's enough. The car was damaged, he had to stay in. He had contact as well with Latifi at one point in the race as well, down at turn number 1, that put them out. Latifi was on the outside line, Magnussen on the inside line, contact between the two, and Magnussen going as well with more damage on the floor and side pod. Latifi having a broken suspension unit as well. He was out of the race. On to the finishes then. Zhou retired on the last, he retired on lap 48 actually, so he was inside the last 90% distance, but still not officially classified. Mick Schumacher, 15th as well. A good result for him today, though, but you've got to feel like it was a missed opportunity for him with Magnus having the penalty. He didn't even get out of Q2, so Schumacher 15th, best as the rest, really. Bottas 14th, his worst result of the season as well. Worst result for Alfa Romeo with him being down in 14th. Alexander Albon was up there, started 13th, finished 13th in a way as well, but he was running in 10th, and at one point he was running in 8th place as well, which was fantastic from Albon. Further down, yeah, but moving up the order, Gasly finished in 12th as well as his home circuit, started further down the field. In fact, just double checking if I move my headset out of the way, where he started from. Gasly started this race 14th, finished 12th, so only gained 2 places in the entire race. Not good there as well. Vettel 11th, went for a battle on the last lap of the race with Lance Stroll. Stroll literally shut the door on him and sort of brake tested him coming out the last corner. Vettel's not happy about that and gave up and said, okay, you can have that 1 points paying position. Vettel will win the battle, not the war. He'll win the war, not the battle. Stroll will win the battle, not the war, if you get what I'm saying. Moving up then, Ricciardo in 9th place as well. Great points for him today as well. Ricciardo started this race, if I look at my notes here, down in, well, actually I can't even see him on the notes for the starting position for Daniel Ricciardo. Started 9th, finished 9th, so exactly where he started, he finished as well. Let's hear from Mattia Binotto. He's talking with Simon.
It didn't quite go to plan.
Yeah, it didn't go to plan, but I think we had a good performance. Tires management, tires degradation again. I think we had a bit of edge on the Red Bull, because after 15 laps, Charles was going somehow well and was gaining a couple of tenths, 3 tenths per lap on Max, that he had to stop very early, and we would have extended certainly the stint. So obviously a mistake, it happened, as we may have reliability issues. I think what I said to Charles, it's only, we make our life a bit difficult, more difficult, but I think it will even better, and we will enjoy more in the future if it will turn down.
He said it was a mistake. There was also talk about a throttle. We couldn't quite hear exactly what he said. Was it just a genuine driver error then?
Yeah, it was a genuine driver error about the throttle. Is when he put the reverse and he wasn't trying to move back from the barriers. There is a strategy, without going into the details, that somehow he felt that the throttle was not, or the torque of the engine was not responding to the throttle, but nothing to do with the mistake.
And talking of strategy, obviously, with Carlos getting that pit stop, was that the right call, you feel? Because sometimes we sort of thought, why are they doing it when it's in that
we
battle?
don't feel it's the right choice. We are pretty sure it's the right choice, because at the time, obviously he was short on life with wear and tires, so it would have been really risky to go to the end. We don't think he would have had the pace still to open the gap to 5 seconds because he had a 5 seconds penalty at the time. And by stopping, he did as well the fastest lap, which is certainly a point which was somehow granted. So I think that was the safest and the right decision to take.
You do, but do you think it cost you a place in the end, though?
We don't think so. We think that if he would have stayed out, he would not have somehow opened the gap 5 seconds to the guy behind. So they were going still on a 37.9, which was pretty fast pace. So we don't think he would have had sufficient guy at the time to open.
What do you say to the team, though, after a race like today, Mattia? Do you feel that this happens once too often? I mean, Charles was saying in his post-race interview to us that he said he's got to stop making mistakes. That's the 3rd time he's retired from the lead.
Well, certainly there is always something to improve and to learn. I think that's our approach. So it's a step by step. I think we are progressing and becoming better. But more than that, I think that once again today we have proved to drivers that we had a fast car, a very competitive one. And we are simply looking now to Hungary. I think we need to turn page, look to Hungary. We can do a 1-2 there, why not? So simply be focused on the next result.
Yeah, well, let's look.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that from Sky and Mattia Binotto there as well. So it's a genuine driver error that put Leclerc out of the race here today, not with the throttle failing as we first heard. So glad to have that cleared up as well. Right, where do we get to? Esteban Ocon finished 8th today at his home race as well. Had a bit of a battle with Yuki Tsunoda on the opening race lap as well. Got a time penalty for that, but still had an amazing run with some great overtakes during the race. Norris was 7th and Ocon and Alonso in 6th. Great job there from Lando Norris to keep up there, getting points on the board as well. Norris started this race down in, if I'm looking on the grid, because it's in back front order, it started 5th, so actually dropped out to 7th. So not a bad result to drop 2 places, but still not perfect from McLaren. They've got to get their race strategy a lot better. Fernando Alonso broke a record today. Most kilometres driven in Formula 1 history, over 18,500 kilometres have now been driven from Fernando Alonso as well. So he's now the most experienced racing driver in Formula 1 in terms of driving kilometres as well. Now we're going to the top 5. Carlos Sainz then, 5th position for him. Started at the back of the grid as well. Got up into 9th position, and then the safety car came out for Leclerc, came into the pit lane, and it was a 4-second stop. They were having a problem with the rear right tyre. They released him into the path of Alexander Albon, and with that got a 5-second time penalty as well. For that, because he was really dangerously right into the part. Albon had to slam on the brakes as well, so Sainz given a 5-second time penalty, but he's got driver of the day and he has got fastest lap of the race, a 1:35.781 as well, so he's the DHL fastest lap winner. Further down though, further up, Perez finished in 4th. He was in a very tight battle with George Russell. Now the virtual safety car came out to stop, to remove Zhou's car, and that allowed already Russell to swing round the outside at the restart down at turn 13 and jumped Perez, and that was a fantastic little battle. Sainz was in a battle as well with Perez beforehand, but we always remember Perez and Russell actually came to blows. Russell dived up the inside at the Nord chicane. Russell was very clearly a car's width alongside, and then all of a sudden Perez turned in on him. He turned the wheel into him as well, and they made contact and Perez cut the corner, so not great there, but the stewards deemed it no further action, and unfortunately that was Perez and Russell were swapped positions, but Russell did get back ahead of him, so a little bit of moral justice there I felt, because I think Perez should have got a 5-second time penalty for that because he closed the door while braking. That's a big no-no, could cause some big accidents. It's the Verstappen rule, we like to call it, when he did it a couple of years ago. On to the top 3 then. Russell finishing 3rd. It's his 5th career podium in Formula 1. Great job as well. It's his 4th podium of the year. Again, another 3rd place. Lewis Hamilton gets his first 2nd place of the year as well. On his 300th Grand Prix start, Hamilton finishes on the podium in 2nd, but he was an astounding 10.6 seconds back from Max Verstappen, who Verstappen on the radio said, is Leclerc okay after his crash? Yes, he was, but even Red Bull know that today they were gifted a race win, as nobody could compete with them, because they, as much as they hate Ferrari, I'm sure, and want everything to beat them, they are competitors and they want to be racing and they want their victories to be earned racing, not with accidents. So Verstappen is still the Red Bull team. We're enjoying it, but he takes the lead of the race and took the victory. Right, here's the championship standings then we'll get on to F2 and F3. Max Verstappen now leads on 233 points with Leclerc still on 170, so a 63-point gap as me and Megan and Josh worked out in the F1 show as well. Perez now on 167, that's closing that battle in, but Verstappen looks unbeatable now, but nobody is unbeatable. We'll see what happens in the second half of the year. Carlos Sainz on 144, Russell a point back on 143, Lewis Hamilton on 127 points still, Lando Norris on 70, Esteban Ocon 56, Bottas 46, and Alonso rounds out the top 10 on 37. Magnussen's on 22 and 11th on the second page. Ricciardo's on 19, Gasly 16, Vettel 15, Schumacher 12, Tsunoda 11, Zhou is on 5, Stroll 4, Albon 3, and no points still for Latifi on the board, and Hulkenberg, even though he only did 2 races, still 21st. Constructors' Championship, Red Bull lead the way, 396 points in the Constructors' Championship to Ferrari on 314. That's pretty much dead in the water as well. Mercedes are closing in on Ferrari, 270 points for them. Alpine now pull ahead of McLaren by 4 points, 93 to 89. Alfa Romeo clear now ahead of Haas, 51 to 34. AlphaTauri closing on Haas, 27. Aston Martin on 19. Williams still on those 3 points. Okay, let's take a look then at what happened in Formula 2, and we'll start off as well with their sprint race results, which if I press button 1, hopefully means that they pop up. Yes, they do. As well for the first race, the sprint race here at Paul Ricard. Got underway, dry conditions just after qualifying as well. Great race as well. We'll start from the back. Emile Cordial, Enzo Fittipaldi made contact with each other. Fittipaldi lost it at the North Chicane, span round and got collected by Cordial. That put him out of the race. He hit Roberto Merri, and that led to Roberto Merri being out of the race. Richard Verschoor just retired as well. Ollie Caldwell was 18th in the sprint race as well. Clement Novalak was 17th. Roy Nazani finished in 16th position as well. 15th for Clem Pollock-Bassey. Marcus Armstrong was 14th, but did receive a post-race penalty to dropping down to 14th. Callum Williams had 13th place. Dennis Halger was in 12th. Yuri Vips was penalised and down to 11th. David Bettman was 10th. Marino Sato 9th, and Logan Sargent in 8th position. Now we get to Theo Pourchaire with an asterisk next to him. Pourchaire finished 3rd in the sprint race as well on his home circuit, but was given a post-race penalty which dropped him all the way down to 7th position as well. So bad luck for Theo Pourchaire on Saturday's race. Amum Awasa was 6th. Frederick Vesti was 5th. Jack Doohan was 4th. A great race for him. Felipe Drugovich increasing his championship lead up now to 3rd. Jan Jarivalo was 2nd, but Liam Lawson getting a first win. Let's have a quick word with Toto Wolff.
It would be to win, but we need to stay humble. Our car is just not good at the moment to fight with the guys in front, and this is, I'm always a little bit pessimistic because I think that I need to be. We're just lacking 6 or 7 tenths to the leaders, and whilst we have stabilized in the race and Verstappen hasn't been really gaining more ground, he was also looking after his tires. So overall, I think the team effort was great. The drivers did a really good job. George clever and fast. Lewis the lion, that was just always there, didn't let loose. And we're doing the maximum at the moment on race day.
And the maximum is paid off brilliantly today. But try and give us a bit of an understanding of why qualifying you're so far off, but actually in the race you're that much closer. What is it that seems to change?
We don't know, but we struggle to bring the tires in the optimum window, and in qualifying sometimes we have it in the 2nd or 3rd push lap, and obviously you're missing the peak then from the first flying lap. And then in the race you can see that we're losing 3 seconds at the beginning of the race or 4, and then we're stabilizing. We're actually not so bad. So there's a lot of head scratching going on, but we have the most capable people, the best ones, I believe. And at the moment it's a little bit trial and error, but that's great to see that science can also improvise. Yeah. And we've got to move fast.
Yeah, okay. Nico Rosberg's also watching on. He's been watching it with us and part of the programme this weekend. He wants to ask you a question, if that's all right, Tush. You can hear it there, yeah.
Hi, Nico.
Hey, hi, Toto. I saw you do some awesome sports psychology there on George in the end. Do you think it worked and it helped him to get
Radio
that 3rd
feedback
place?
there.
Yeah, it was good with you also, no, the bi-directional talking. Yeah, I think as a driver, you're getting so upset with the situation. You feel that what has happened was just not right. I think sometimes you also don't see the kind of helicopter view. And I felt he had pace at the time and could catch him on track. And so I wanted to reset him mentally.
I think that was fantastic to watch.
Yeah, it was
Thank you very much, guys. Well, that television feat of engineering didn't really work, did it? But it's nice to hear from Toto Wolff there. Okay, let's take away the sprint race and open up the feature race for FIA Formula 2. And a debut win in Formula 2 as well for Amon Iwasa as well, the young Japanese driver as well. His first ever win, and he gets it with a feature race as well. Great from him as well. Théo Pourchaire as well got his race result from Saturday cancelled, as we told you about. He was disqualified and put down to 7th, but on Sunday's race, I'm going to change hands again because the lead's a bit slippery as well. But in the second race, in the feature race as well, Pourchaire finished 2nd. And there's a great moment as well where Carling, who is a French team, won the race with Iwasa. They were singing the national anthem in front of the main grandstand, the French national anthem, and Théo Pourchaire, being French, joined them arm in arm on the start-finish straight. I thought that was a lovely moment as well. Frederick Vesti rounded out the podium in 3rd position as well. Got some drivers, I think, coming up. Ferrari, Carlos Sainz.
Carlos, sorry to make you wait because I'm sure it's been a really horrible afternoon for you, even though you got driver of the day and fastest lap. There was so much more on offer today. Was the win there for you today, do you think? Even?
Was there?
Was the win even there for you today?
No, not
the
the
podium should have been.
Not the win, but podium position, I think with a perfect race, we could have made it. The win, I think Max was pretty fast and perfect out there, so starting last is not like you can beat Max. But yeah, it felt like a good recovery, a fast pace. I think if without the penalty, we would have started on pole or in the first row like we could have done yesterday. The win would have been definitely possible. But we started 19th, and how the pit stop went and how everything turned out to be, finishing P5 and the point of fastest lap is okay. I'm going to take it, but I believe that with a perfect race, we could have been a bit further up ahead.
There are lots of things to talk about, but it essentially comes down to teamwork and strategy and calls, doesn't it? Because they spoke to you on the radio when you were in the middle of the overtake. There were calls to box, and you said, no, I want to stay out. When you did box, there was an unsafe release. There seems to be a lot there that needs to be solved, if you like, that needs to be taken into hand if you're to be given a fair fighting chance.
I think the team is doing a very good job on strategy this year. I still believe at Ferrari we get super criticized for things that other teams might be going through also in their pit stops windows, and every time there's a tricky moment on strategy, we are discussing things, but we are not a disaster like people seem to say we are. It's just we like to discuss things. We are open about them. Yes, I was in the middle of an overtake, but the team believed that was the right lap to stop and come back through the field. I believe that maybe at the time it was maybe better to risk it and stay out and see what happens with the tires, even if it was a medium tire on the limit of the life. But I had just made it to P3 and I saw a podium position that I said, if I make these tires last, maybe I can finish on the podium, but we will never know. It was a feeling. The team has a lot more data on the computer. They have a lot more numbers to go through, and if they took that decision, I'm 100% convinced that they did it with the best of the intentions and with the best spirits. It's just we need to keep progressing and we need to analyze everything and see how we can be better, but I'm convinced the team is doing a good job there.
Just finally for me, would you have wanted to stay out and take the 5-second penalty at the end, or was it the right call to come and take it?
My point of view was that if I couldn't pass Checo, I would box, because I'm P4, there's nothing really going on and I cannot pass Checo. Let's try and box and come back. The moment I passed Checo, I was like, okay, I'm P3. Let's see if I can pull away 5 seconds and make it to the end with his tires. At that stage, our numbers said that impossible to make it to the end. Plus the 5-second penalty, you risk even losing position to Fernando or whatever. So the team took it to play it safe. We knew P5 plus fastest lap is good points, and we took the P5 plus fastest lap. In the moment, maybe my feeling was different, but until I don't see the numbers and everything, is impossible for me. I think we will never know what would have been the best.
Still a great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great interview there from Carlos Sainz as well, talking to the main feed. Okay, where did we get up to as well? Are we going to have Lewis? Yes, we are. Okay.
How are you feeling? Because
With Rachel.
How exhausted you were in the cool-down room, no drinks bottle, finished second today. It was a fantastic performance from you and the whole team.
Yeah, I feel fantastic. I was just a little bit dehydrated. Yeah, the drink bottle didn't work in the race, so I don't actually ever really drink in the race ever. So this is the first time I'd actually tried it all year, and yeah, there was nothing coming out. So, but what a day, what a weekend, especially with missing P1. Just so proud of the team. You know, this is an incredible result. You know, winning races and getting results like this is about the whole package, and of course we know we don't have quite the pace of the two teams ahead, but reliability is a huge fundamental part of the process, and so I'm so proud of my team for having the reliability that we do have, and what a great result. George did a great job today as well, so to get a second and a third is really special for us.
You can hear it in his voice, actually, Lewis Hamilton, how hoarse his voice sounds, very much like mine at the end of the cut on Monday morning, like it's just ripped to shreds. So I do feel for Lewis there a lot. Logan says, no! That's it. That's the tweet. I did say that's going to be memed right away, and it'll be on there. It'll be on TikTok, Instagram, social medias, everywhere. Right, for the next set of interviews, let's quickly get through the F2s because it's coming up soon. So we did the top three, as I said. Awasa, first ever win. Poitiers, home race. Arm in arm with the Carlings. Frederick Vesti ran out the podium. Okay, championship leader of Felipe Drugovich finished in fourth. Jack Doohan did a great race in fifth. Liam Lawson, yesterday sprint winner, fought back up to sixth position. Jaruvalo was seventh. Novalak eighth. Roy Nazani received a post-race penalty, dropped him down to ninth. Enzo Fittipaldi rounded out the top 10. Then it was Callum Williams 11th. Yuri Vips is 12th. Ollie Cordial is 13th. David Beckman 14th. Cordial was 15th. Dennis Hauger 16th. And Richard Verschoor was 17th. Now here it gets interesting. Chambal Bassi retired on the last lap as well. Fire in the car. Had to retire as well. Logan Sargent was put out of the race with an accident as well with Roberto Merri. And Marcus Armstrong was made contact on the opening lap as well with Dennis Hauger. Hauger's front wing broke off. Armstrong's car completely died. And Sato was spun round as well at the back of the field. And he stopped at the exit of the Nord chicane throughout the safety car. So that was the F2 feature race as well. Now I'll quickly talk about W Series before wrapping up the show and any other interviews that might come through. Got a feeling I might be interrupted here by Rachel. Looks like we have a second. Okay. Not a surprise then in the W Series who took the victory. Jamie Chadwick, her 7th win in a row and 5th race win of the season as well. She took both races in America last year and she's taken the 5 races so far this year. She's unstoppable. 150 points means that next time out in Hungary next week, she could mathematically take the World Championship for W Series then. Next time out. That's insane. She sweeps the board. Belen Garcia finished second after contact at the start between her and Abby Eaton, and Marta Garcia resulted in Abby Eaton being thrown up in the air, coming down hard, and that put the safety car out for Abby Eaton. Chloe Chambers then was spun round by Emily de Hughes down at turn 3 and 4. Chloe Chambers' rear left suspension broke, brought out the second safety car. So they're the 2 retirements. As well as a result, Emily de Hughes was in 16th position. Naria Marti finished in 3rd, rounding out the podium. Bites Kavissa, great race from her in 4th position. Alice Powell was 5th, back up there after a bad race at Silverstone. Marta Garcia 6th. Fabian Volverend was 7th. 8th for Sarah Moore. 9th, Abby Pulling, and Jess Hawkins rounding out the points in 10th. Bruno Tomaselli was 11th. Emma Kimalainen slipped down to 12th place as well. 13th for Juji Noda. Teresa Babic-Kova was 14th. Bianca Bustamante is 15th. And Emily de Hughes, after having contact with Chloe Chambers, broke her front wing, had a puncture in the second safety car. She was down in 16th position as well. Okay, press button 3. That's it. We're all wrapped up here for the Grand Prix review. We've gone through every series and nothing else is broken. Just leave you with official news with the results from Formula 1, and we'll go through them with you once again, just so if you're joining us, you know what's what. These are the final classifications because the only post-race interview was between Latifi and Magnussen, so they're out of the race, so it's not going to change the results. Verstappen takes his 27th career victory as well, and his 7th race win of the year. 10 seconds clear of Lewis Hamilton in 2nd. It's George Russell in 3rd. Sergio Perez is 4th. Carlos Sainz in 5th. Fernando Alonso 6th. Lando Norris 7th. Esteban Ocon is 8th. Danny Ricciardo 9th. And Lance Stroll rounds out the points-paying positions in 10th. Sebastian Vettel is 11th. Pierre Gasly is 12th. Alexander Albon 13th. Valtteri Bottas is 14th. 15th as well for Mick Schumacher, the last of the race finishers. nobody got lapped today. Zhou was out of the race. He retired. So did Latifi and Magnussen after contact. Leclerc put it in the wall with a driver error, we're being told now. And Yuki Tsunoda retired on the same lap, but with damage from lap 1 from being hit by Esteban Ocon. Okay, coverage details for next weekend. It's a biggie. We've got the British Touring Car Championship. We've got the Formula E. We've got Formula 1, Formula 2, Formula 3 and W Series all on at the same time as IndyCar. So next weekend, with limited team as well, we are literally spread very, very thin. So it's going to look a bit different. I'm commentating London Race 1 of Formula E. Megan is taking you through F1 qualifying, and it's roles reversed. Megan takes you through Race 2 of London Prix, and I take you through the F1 Hungarian Grand Prix as well. All others remain unchanged as well. Megan will be leading the W Series. I'll be leading Formula 2 and Formula 3, and then we'll all be together as well. Me and Josh will be on the British Touring Cars as well. Some of those will be delayed as per normal, and of course when we'll have live Saturday evening as well for IndyCar with myself and a special guest as well. So it's all going to be okay. It's all going to be perfectly normal. Join us later on tonight, though, here on the YouTube channel and on USRN2 on the Mixlr app if you are out and about. That will be for Iowa Race 2, the HiVDeals.com Salute to Farmers 300. So 300 laps, 300 miles coming up, and that is at 8 o'clock British Summer Time, so in a couple of hours' time. Go have some lunch, join us later. My thanks to all of you for tuning in this weekend. It is a fantastic race result for Red Bull. Max Verstappen leads the title by 63 points. One more race before the summer break. Join us in 7 days' time from the Hungaroring from us all here in France. Thank you very much. Au revoir.